After my obligatory Artist's Way morning pages, I make my way into the kitchen. Now, for years, I convinced myself that the only adequate breakfast was like a chia pudding, but I'm a free agent today. I can do what I want. So I contemplate my options and I go for some bean stuff I made the other night on toast. And I feel like independence is off to a good start. We've reached it. We're here. We've reached this day of days when I have no employment commitments to anyone but myself. I've dreamed about this day. I've hoped for this day. I have complained bitterly for months about my lack of freedom and how I spend my time, and here we are. We're here. I call it unemployment. I don't know if I can really classify myself as unemployed right now because I'm not actively looking for work. In fact, I truly don't want to have any external work right now. I want to build my own thing. So I suppose technically I'm freelance. And if you call yourself freelance, can you truly ever be unemployed? However, I do have no source of income at this moment. So, give and take, it's fine. It's fine. I mean, I was up for several hours last night in the middle of the night, just worrying about my lack of income, how I don't really know how I'm going to really pay for things apart from I do have some savings, but what's the long-term plan here? I don't necessarily truly have one, which is a little bit frightening, but I do tell myself that I will figure it out. And I promise that I will somehow. I will figure out something but yeah, I mean, otherwise though, so far so good. I mean, I already feel far less rushed. It's been literally one morning and I already feel like I look healthier, even though I wasn't even particularly healthy last night. I mean, we just had dinner at the pub. So I had some pizza and some wine. That's not healthy, but I still feel like I'm getting my color back. And so today, the whole day is just stretched out in front of me. I have no time when I have to sign on to an employer's account. And it is incredibly exciting. So today, what am I going to do? Well, I mean, first of all, I have to print out my absentee ballot for the US elections because I got to do my civic duty, of course. So I'm going to go do that, get that printed at some print shop. And then I think my main goal today is not to get too stuck inside. I want to really get outside, live in the world. I think that will be the difference between success and failure in this new project I'm undertaking, is to feel like I'm still involved in society, that I'm still in the world in some way. So I have an idea of maybe going into, I don't know, perhaps central London, going to a coffee shop or something, doing some work for a while. I don't know. I have to edit a couple of videos. I want to do some video research. I want to work on an essay that I'm planning for later this month. I feel like that is actually enough. That's quite a bit of stuff. I feel like today is going to be a good day. I've set myself the goal of find enjoyment somehow in my day-to-day life. And so I'm very much hoping that I succeed in doing that because I have not really been very happy and I have not been enjoying much at all lately. And so if I could find some happiness and enjoyment, I would consider that a success. I opted for a bus into central London. I just couldn't stomach the idea of working somewhere closer to where I live because, and I don't know if anyone shares this experience, but I can feel sometimes that certain places get burdened with the weight of past feelings I've had there. So if you take all the nearby cafes, for example, I've worked in them so many times before, often on things I didn't want to do. And so right now, these cafes that are near to where I live are burdened with the weight of resentment of my past circumstances. I went instead to the area around UCL, University College London, where I did my master's. And you see, my master's year was a time of great self-actualization, I think, really stepping into the person I was. And so that area still does feel very imbued with that sense of possibility. Go back, same bus, different direction. One more video edited, but a disappointing work session overall. I pass people at pubs with glasses of wine in the early afternoon. I wish I were one of them, knowing I could be in this state of unemployment, but I shouldn't be. And so, for the time being, I'm not. You know when all you want to do in the world is just get done what you want to get done and have it be over with? Well, that's what my experience is right now. But I just recorded this whole segment of me chatting about my day, and the audio didn't record though. So I'm gonna do it over. Fortunately, it was only 5 minutes, but still. Anyway, so today I've come home. I had a decent outing. I did go up to my old university campus area trying to relive my past, trying to re-embody or just embody my 22, 23-year-old self, just to kind of get that naive inspiration back, I think. And it half worked. It definitely was nice to walk around there, see these familiar streets and be like, ah, yes, I remember how it was. I remember how I felt, kind of. But yeah, also I had some really lovely plans to work in the cafe of the Gower Street Waterstones, which is a bookshop. And I could not, because I got there and every single table was occupied, which I kind of half expected, but it still was a blow to me, honestly. I was like, oh, I really had this nice vision of going and working on something for 2 hours or so, and then going and browsing some books, maybe picking up something nice for myself to provide my inspiration for the future. But I didn't, and instead I made the questionable choice, honestly, to go over to Tottenham Court Road, which is, for people who are not in London, kind of a fairly unpleasant, relatively major road with a lot of just chain stuff. And I thought, oh, well, at least I can probably get a seat in one of the chain coffee shops. And so I did, and I ended up at Pret, and it was fine. I had a falafel wrap, and it was pretty good. And I worked on editing a video for a couple of hours. It did not provide the level of privacy I would have ideally liked for editing a video. It was quite exposed, and so people could see me just watching my own face, myself talk for a couple of hours, and I'm like, yeah, well, but don't you know I'm building something here. I'm building a media empire here, obviously. I have to do this. It's my duty to the world, obviously. So that was what I did. And then after a couple of hours, of course, there were no outlets in which to plug in my computer in Pret. So my computer died, and then I could have found another coffee shop, but I was like, first of all, I think I've spent enough money today already. And I was also like, yeah, I should probably just go home. And so I did, and I continued editing. What I have noticed, though, from my experiment of this day is that I haven't yet experienced my afternoon lull, where usually around 3, 4 p.m., when I am working for someone else, I can barely function. I just get so exhausted. And today, that hasn't hit yet. I still feel like I could go for another couple of hours, because wow, what a wonder to work on something that I actually like and that I'm interested in, and that feels like it's maybe serving my future. That's amazing. So I'm like, okay, cool. That's working well. Otherwise, I don't know what else to say, really. I am thinking, yeah, should I go out for a walk? I don't know, maybe. I don't really feel like it, but I might. I'm thinking about, should I go to the grocery store? Probably should. I have half an idea to make a Sri Lankan egg curry, and it looks pretty good. Maybe a little bit, not complicated, but a little more than I maybe want to do tonight. But also I do feel again, being like unemployed or whatever, it gives me a lot more energy to do things like cook and clean. I even like tidied up a little bit of stuff in the bathroom today that had been like bothering me for weeks, but I just like didn't have the energy to actually clean up. That was cool. And yeah, I mean, it's been actually a pretty good day. Like, it's been a pretty good day. I have felt mentally better than I have in a long time, and it does just make me think, wow, like what I've been putting myself through for the benefit of having a bit of income every month, like, was it worth it? Was it worth it? Or is this actually a much better way to live? I'm still doing stuff. I'm still like actively doing stuff and thinking about stuff. It's just that I'm doing it for me and it's what I want to do, and like that feels really like revolutionary. Yeah, so that's where we are. Bye.